right, we will find out if this is actually going to go live. So Ann Seeing from the E-commerce Business School coming at you. This is our weekly Voice of E-commerce call. Oh man, it looks like it actually went through. Yes. Okay, super excited about that. That is awesome, because I got to say that wasn't the case last week when Facebook decided to have a major meltdown or blackout. So good to see that we are finally past that. So super excited to be back in the saddle, everybody. Coming at you on, where are we at here? Wednesday, March 20th. Just having gotten back from our big 3-day e-commerce funnel mastery workshop in Dallas. And then the very following day was our first ever e-commerce masters intensive, which was held on Monday, March 18th. And I really hope you got a chance to watch that incredible interview with Brenda Spangler and Tina Durham. They are beyond excited relative to, yes, literally getting their print-on-demand business set up from A to Z. They both confirmed they made it through all 5 steps. In fact, Tina, who is almost completely brand new to our community, went back to her hotel room that evening and put up 16 new designs. So rocking and rolling with the e-commerce masters intensive. Hey, so hi there, Judith in the house. Good deal. It's great to have you here, Judith. Judith, a rising star in our community. When I was at our roundtable together at E-commerce Funnel Mastery, she's all showing, let's see, Beth, how to use Shoptimized, and she's just doing all sorts of like one-on-one mentorship right then and there. Boom. So proud of you, Judith. All right, so we are officially at the top of the hour, so we're going to get going here. So again, greetings, everybody. This is Ann Sieg. I'm the founder of the E-commerce Business School, and you are in the Voice of E-commerce, which is the broadcasting arm of EBS. All right, so we like to display to the public that we are real people with a go-giving community, like I just referenced with Judith. That's go-giving, and she's received, but she's given back. Right, Judith? So we're going to help take your business to the next level with this edition of the Voice of E-commerce. All right, so to receive future broadcasts of any of our lives, write in "add me" in the comment section. If you're brand new and you want to be able to get notified through Facebook Messenger, write in "add me" in the comment section below. All righty, those are the instructions for you. So we are going to have to get right to our topic at hand, which means me sharing my screen. So just to give me a wee second here to get that ready for you. And I gotta just find my little panel to get this shared with you folks. You awesome, everybody who's here today. Love you guys. Right, okay, so just keep writing if you have shown up and you're making it here. All right. And then I'm going to hit share and everything will be magical. Boom. Is everything magical? Let me know, Judith in the house, if this is magical. Is it showing? Yeah, Judith is saying EFM was awesome. All right. So every Wednesday, we're going to be focusing on business leadership and development. That's my expertise. I'm a business strategist, advisor, and I am known for building communities. It's something that I love and I'm passionate about. This photo here, this is Tim Coyle. He's one of our certified trainers, and as is Stephen Hunt, both certified trainers here at the E-commerce Business School. And that's what we do, is we develop up leaders. So I want to help you develop your leadership competency. There we go. So our book study for March 2019 is Tribal Leadership, Leveraging Natural Groups to Build a Thriving Organization. You may say, Ann, I'm in e-commerce. Seriously, Ann, what does this have to do with me? Well, I'll give you an example just so I can help translate it for you. One, you may end up developing a team as you're growing your e-commerce business. So there's that reason. And that may grow to whatever extent, we don't know. But there are also some of you who are now building a brand, especially if you've gone into print on demand training that we have and you start to build a public facing brand, like Candida with Sleuth Shop. And that is, you're going to build a tribe of people through that, through your Facebook group or page on YouTube. You're going to build a tribe. That's what some people call their following, is their tribe. These are my peeps. This is my tribe, right? And I do believe over time, we're going to see the weight of where people are at in the e-commerce models that we teach. I think it's going to shift dramatically more and more into the asset building model, such that this will be just commonplace. You got to develop your leadership capabilities. Okay, so real quick now, before I dive into the more serious content, which is about core values, is what we're going to talk about. But these are how they, through a schematic, layer out the 5 stages of tribal leadership. So anyone who's viewing this, I just don't think you can possibly be at stage 1, which is life sucks. That's their mental view of the world. Number 2 is my life sucks. Okay, the world may be okay, but woe is me, my life sucks. And there they are, the victim mentality, etc. Number 3, I am great and you're not. It's personal domination. They're the lone warrior. Yay, hooray for that big lone warrior, but they're not going to make it too well in terms of really creating a great community. Then 4, we are great. Stable partnership, tribal pride. I like to think that's what we have here at EBS. What would you say, Judith? I think we got that, right? And number 5, life is great. And this, what they qualify this as is they have reached a global brand. Well, that could happen to EBS. Yes, indeed. All right, so let's get moving forward. This is just a recap for those of you who have no connection with this content. I want to just quick get you up to speed here. The stage of tribal leadership has 2 primary markers in other words, for you to help identify, let's say you're in a community and you want to know, is this a healthy ecosystem or is this like toxic? Should I get out of here, right? So you note the words that they use and the relationships they have with people. And that's how you can best determine what stage they're at. You know, the world sucks stage, my life sucks stage, I'm great stage. Have you ever been in those kind of communities where, you know, yo, just everybody got to need to know I'm the greatest here. And you're just like, whoa, this is getting tiring and old, right? And then it's, we're great. Hey, no, we're all great, right? So anyways, it helps you know whether you're in a healthy or a toxic place. So let's talk about this. Core values, go for values now, not later. You go, and I have so much for my business. How can I possibly even think about core values? I'm down in that micro level. No, Judith, we talked about the distinction of macro and micro. I saw that play out at the event. Some people are at the macro level learning and some are at the micro. Macro is you're just starting in and your head kind of hurts and it's all just feeling like so much. It's okay. Take a deep breath. You'll get through it, right? Just like Judith here did. Macro is, yeah, you're setting up your ad right while someone's training on it, et cetera, et cetera. You're down into the nitty gritty. Core values, according to the authors of this book, you better take care of it now. And I only say this because I think a lot of people, they're not really clear on what their core values are. They hopefully have core values, and then they can just be better firmed up, especially as you start to have people come to work with you and they want to know. And actually, this is where, as a student of mine through this book now, you're going to be able to pick up really quickly if this is someone you want to associate with. What kind of tribal leader are they? Are they all in the big dude mode? And I'm so the man kind of mode. And you go, whoop, think this is the wrong leader, right? So anyways, let's keep trucking down here. So a common point of failure that they point out, and this is, just think of this in the bigger news that happens, many mergers, that being when 2 companies form together, which by the way, that has happened here inside our community. We have 2 members who they joined up their businesses and they're now partners, right? Many mergers fail because analysts and executives, the higher schmuckety-muckety up above, right? They do not consider values and culture, but rather they only think about the compatibility of the business models and the balance sheets. Tracking with me on that? They're just, oh yeah, the numbers look really good. Let's merge the 2 companies. Yeah, good balance sheets here and a good balance. Yeah, let's make this merger happen. And they fail to consider What is the culture of one company and the other company? Because I am telling you, and I am raising my hand and I am letting you know right here and now, this has been an issue for me in the past when it comes to, call it merger, partnership, or whatever, right? Anyways, when you try to bring those together and they clash, and when they clash, they push apart, they do not further assimilate. It's just like thunk, and they just fall back against each other, not coming together as they thought when they just went by the balance sheet, right? And the business models. Does this make sense? I mean, you're going, yeah, it makes sense, Ann, because there's nothing worse than working with someone who does not share your values and truly seeing them demonstrated in real life. It's one thing to say, it's another thing to do, isn't it? Watch how people walk more than how they talk. How they walk more than how they talk. Watch. And I want to speak into that for a minute. One of my favorite activities is observing human ecosystems. Like when I go to the mall, I don't know what it is in my wiring, but I just get extremely fascinated with it. And when you are in the people building space, this is your life. It's your work, is noting how people behave in ecosystems. You know, do they have leadership qualities? Do they have lack of leadership qualities? It's a competency that you can develop. Anyways, okay, we better keep trucking, right? So go past the surface to discover core values. That's kind of that whole thing. Anyone can talk a pretty talk. Oh, these core values feel really great. And they print them up and they stick them on the wall and nobody's actually living them, right? So what they recommend, this is again from the book, Tribal Leadership, is take the time to peel back the onion layers and really get to it. So what you're seeing here, this is an annual event that we have. It's called the Ultimate Business Lifestyle. And that whole retreat, it's 2 days. We already have it scheduled, by the way. It's in August. Pray tell, I will tell you the date. Hang on. Because I know Judith, for example, is eligible to come to it. It's August 23rd, 24th, 25th. So people come in on the 23rd. Pretty positive that's it. Anyways, all to say, that entire retreat is all about the CEO. So goes the CEO, so goes the business. And let me just tell you, if you think that your core values as a CEO are not important as it comes to getting partners, whether that be JV or whatever it is, I'm telling you, you can get a reputation that you're so not the person to work with, right? So anyway, this is a really important exercise, and that's what we do at our retreat. So wildly successful organizations talk about values when they least can afford it. I thought this picture seemed to encapsulate that to some extent, but that being that, again, the fixation on the numbers and the balance sheet, which of course we need that for a business. You got to be tracking your numbers. I talked about that at our e-commerce funnel mastery, about the need for the numbers. But there's also that human part, the human dimension part, that's going to get infused into all your actions, be that if you're strictly at the scanning level, your actions and how you relate to people when you're in these stores. And it could be you're so offensive that the store owner is like, you're just so not welcome here again, right? So the values, but especially when you start building your brand, marketing is leadership. Your values and who you are will naturally go out there, be that good, bad, or ugly. There's only so much of being able to fake a value, but most people, they can read through that when it's fake, right? So it is really important that you establish those values. I'm going to get down to some specific exercises, so stick with me. And let me just see, hey there, good morning to you, Sharon in the house. Great to have you here. All righty, so let's just keep moving here. So when people talk about a principle, this is an exercise they talk about, without which life wouldn't be worth living, they become excited and vibrant. And this is having to do with core values, right? And they think, if this wasn't in place, man, it just so wouldn't be a life worth living. Not that you do yourself in, I'm not saying that, but it's more that this is what makes life worth living. They become excited and vibrant. So I don't know if I should quiz the people who are watching, if they know, for example, the principles that I exude that get me excited and vibrant. Clearly you can see it's on leadership stuff. It's the family. I was on my shuttle from the hotel to the airport yesterday afternoon. I like to converse with people, and that's just what I like to do. And so then I'm telling them about what I do. And I said, you know, what I love is that we're able to have an impact on families and their family economy. And that's like this, man, could life be any better than that? That the work that I do can actually change families' lives and their economy. It's kind of mind-blowing in a way, the import of that I get floored when I see, no, they've got 2 more members in their family. Tina, for example, one of our newest EMI, e-commerce masters intensive members, her 3 daughters are going to start working with her in her business. Yes. All right. So that's one of mine. So you have to determine what that is. And these are exercises we'll be doing more in depth at the Ultimate Business Lifestyle coming up. Communicating your core values, it needs to come from the heart, not just words. And again, it's people just know. They know when you're speaking from the heart, right? In this way, it becomes more clear when they see that it truly is in your heart and it's not just a fabricated core value that you've made up, that you read in a book or you heard from someone else that this would be you know what, that'd be a great value to have, right? No, true values come in the heart. You guys have seen me get choked up with the whole family piece. That's way deep in my heart, okay? Let's keep moving. And you guys can come back and do these as an exercise, by the way, on your own. So here's this one, exercise to clarify your core values. Have everyone in your team, and you may say, but it's only me, Ann. I'm the only one, that's the team. Fine, that's great. Write down okay, guess that's a little bit of a challenge as I read this further. What you really like and admire about someone else in the group. Okay, I can bring this down to home. If you do have a team that you're building your business with, then you do it with that. But many of you may be a solo. What we have here inside the e-commerce business school is a higher level mentorship group called E-commerce Masters Program. They have weekly peer masterminds. That is a perfect place to do this exercise. What do you really like and admire about someone else in the group? And this is actually an exercise we did at our last Ultimate Business Lifestyle. And it was with Brian Cummings. I believe it was this exercise. And the revealing truth about it is you look for those qualities that in fact you already possess to some extent. You already have them. And that's why you're able to identify them in others. Like maybe it's generosity. And wow, so-and-so is generous. And so you possess that attribute and maybe you wish to possess more. And you see that person, you go, wow, well, he's just so generous. Okay. But what it does is it helps you look outside yourself instead of always internal. And so through this exercise, by identifying what you admire about someone else, it strengthens you in your ability to get along with people and see the good qualities that they possess. And it helps you find those core values by seeing that. Here's another one. One of the most effective methods is to tell a story about how you learned one of your core values. So stories sell, stories, people are wired to listen to stories more than just, here's my teaching on XYZ. When they have that teaching infused through a story, it pulls on people differently, kind of grabs at the heart and it draws them in. What happened next, right? So I'm going to share with you a story from my childhood that has been a big part of developing my core values to become an educator. All right, here it is. And again, this is just to illustrate and give an example. All righty. My parents were teachers. Both of them, my dad was a professor for a stint, and then he went on to work in a different capacity. And then my mom was a teacher my entire growing up years, right? So we had books like ridiculous and going to the library and all that. Well, what kind of thing did my parents buy us kids? There are 5 of us. This thing. And I only wish I had the picture of the real chalkboard and it could have been saved. Man, did we kids ever use that chalkboard when we were growing up. And my eldest brother, Kevin, really was this big teacher role for the kids. So Kevin was the eldest, I was in the middle. And my parents somehow got a deal of all these National Geographics. I mean, boxes worth. And for us, it was like Candyland, thumbing through the National Geographic and these beautiful pictures. And we just love poring over these. In fact, look, 1976. Okay. Well, it would have been even a little earlier for me in my early years. But anyways, all to say, my brother organized this activity. He enlisted me. I think he tried with the other siblings. I'm not sure, but it ended up being me and Kevin. And that was, get this, guys, to catalog all of these National Geographics and create this mass document. There were no spreadsheets, just sheets of paper, lined rule. And we would catalog the whole thing. Oh, Kevin, that would be awesome. And that's kind of how I took on this little role with my eldest brother, call it playing school. And by the way, we did. We kids played school growing up. That's the household I grew up. We played school. All right. Can anybody else relate to any kind of story? What else do we have there? Oh, consistency. Thank you, Judith. All right. So you can do your own. We'll probably be doing something like this at Ultimate Business Lifestyle Retreat coming up in August. But that's my story. We literally played school all the time. And that was a big school project. Okay, let me go on, and then we're almost done. So tribal leaders need to keep digging until they find the values that can turn a group of professionals into a family. Yeah, who are these people? And I thought this picture was so appropriate because, you know, when you're a family, you get to have fun and be a little bit silly. But if you're all stiff and boring, you know, professionals, you don't get to break out and have silly time and moments and laughter and joy and tears and really bond together, which I have to point out. So this book spoke to this, and I read a lot of business books. There's another business book by a completely different author. He says, no, work is work, and it's not where you try to recreate a family for people. That's just flat out wrong. They have their own families, and to think that you're going to create a family with, you know, where they're working with you, that's just wrong. I agreed with some of the things he said in his book, but that one I thought, that's not even possible for me. I can't even fake trying to do it the way he said. I was like, no, can do, actually. I like to make it fun. In fact, the day that this business is no longer fun is the day I don't want to do it anymore. And what makes it fun for me is the people I get to work with. Make sense? So this picture with Coach Kurt is totally typifies my team. Silly moments like that. Yeah. The day we quit, you know, being able to have silly moments, no. Nope. Because I do want it to be like a family. There you go. An entire company that sees values as its Bible can move quickly, grow, and remain remarkably united. And it is one of the hallmarks of stage 4 that, you know, decision-making is made on your values. Like, nope, that does not fit our values. Nope, no can do, right? That's when you know it's real and not fake and contrived, you know. Oh, they say we should have our values written down. Ooh, I better do that. No, your values need to be really deep in your heart. So, and here's the cool thing about that. You're going to attract those very kind of people to you. That's what's going to happen. This is a picture from the UBL, Ultimate Business Lifestyle, where we did our campfire. And, you know, and we were freezing cold. And there's Josie all bundled up in a blanket. All right. Oh, got to move that. So here's some coaching tips. Then we're going to come in for a landing. Keep looking for new ways to express the values. How can you do that? And talk about that at our events, in our email copy, in our, you know, everything that you do. And I'm more like a training company, but as you're selling products and you start to build a following, oh, there's plenty of ways to share your values. Group values supersede the edicts of executives and managers. And I kind of went, whoo. No, to me, because I'm a CEO, I'm like, oh dear. So what does that mean exactly? But my values are clear and they have permeated the company. And I attract people who resonate with those values. But I get what they're saying at a large scale is there could be some really, let's get candid now. So in big corporations, some really ugly things happen, right? Can happen, where greed and avarice and all these things that you read about. Okay, just yesterday's paper, Wall Street Journal, it was on the counter when I got home. The top dude in Warner Brothers, Time Warner, they've hit the end of the road. You know what's happened? That dude, he had abusive relationships with the employees, and now they're pretty much what's happened to Time Warner is they're out of luck because all the other people that were doing the same darned thing. And I'm thinking, well, it looks like your really bad values at the top have imploded the company because they have these bad relationships with employees. That's about all I'll say there. So ask yourself, what projects do our values say we should begin? I think I'm supposed to say I should begin with. So what projects do our values say we should begin? I don't know, I guess it is just that. Just where should we go? If these are truly our values, what do we do with them? So we actually did this exercise through a book with Dr. Josie helping to lead the project. It's called Clockwork. And there was one chapter that had to do with our, it's called the Queen Bee Role, which has to do with our values. We spent like a month, 4 to 6 weeks on that. And it's right here on a little sheet of paper that I keep taped on my wall. It says, we provide a results-driven entrepreneurial mentoring community. We have community. We do mentoring. We're focused on results. So that was our Queen Bee Role. And that took us like about 6 weeks to nail down. All right, so let's keep moving here. So establish your values and go build your tribe. That is your message today. And especially for those of you who are building a brand. And for more business, leadership, and training, go through, I didn't put the link on it. I'll put the link below, anseedbookclub.com. That's where we have a big training once a month. And then if you're interested in our TLC leadership development platform, you just go and write TLC in the comments section below. And let me be really clear on this. Not everybody is really meant to be in TLC. It's for those who, well, they do see the value of leading in their business. Some may want to be a trainer or a coach. And again, that's not for everybody. But I will say this, being a leader in your business, well, I hate to break it for you, but that piece is literally for everybody. You must show up and lead in your business every day. So TLC can benefit everybody in that way. So that's pretty much it. Let me just see if there's any comments or, well, hi there, Christina. Oh, okay, that is so true about value, where you attract people of like values, whereas others with different values just won't fit. Yeah, I had a trainer. I went to a workshop in 2007, and he called it organ rejection. And, you know, like you have this team and you're going to assimilate a new person into your team. And when they just don't resonate with your core values, they just kind of sift themselves out, and the group is like, this doesn't really quite have our values. Did you see what he said? Man, did you hear what he did? Man, that is just so not us. That kind of thing. And almost like within a family where actions that would almost like that whole thing disgrace the family. I mean, I'll tell you, we had those kind of talks when raising our boys. I'm just saying, like, this is the Sieg name. We don't want you to hurt the Sieg name, right? Like, you represent our family name. The whole little lecture thingy. And so, yeah, so organ rejection is like, oh, they're just not fitting our value system here. Okay. And you can typically figure that out pretty quickly, but not always. And Sharon's got a ditto there. Back to Christine, I believe. Okay, beautiful. Well, thanks for being here. I really enjoy sharing this kind of stuff with you. I do think it is very integral to have a successful business, because all businesses, even if you're in e-commerce and you're selling cups and placemats and this and that, you're still going to have relationships with other people, with the suppliers, with your customers. It's all about having good, solid relationships with people. What I like to call the working relationship. Yeah, that's a whole nother training. Well, that's it. I really appreciate y'all being here. Thanks for the comments. If you're watching this as a replay, go ahead and make that note for us. That would be great. And any kind of comments you may have. Well, it's a wrap. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week then. All righty. Bye-bye, everyone.